Hello friends, it is Unicorn Princess here, and I'm going to do something kind of different for me today. Okay, so you guys have probably seen the new trailer, the newish trailer for Wreck-It Ralph 2 that I'm super excited about. Not necessarily because Wreck-It Ralph, just because all the princesses together. I've always wanted it to happen. That is exciting. Apparently, there are two things that are interesting about this. One is that so many people are saying they can't understand anything that Merida says in her reclip. And I'll come back to that. But also, there's a lot of people who are saying they are offended by Merida's bit, and I'm gonna watch the Wreck-It Ralph trailer, and then we're gonna talk about it. So this might come as a shock to some of you, but I am in fact Scottish, and when I speak to you guys, I use, I speak clearly so that people from all over the place can understand what I'm saying. It's an accepted, totally normal thing for us Scottish people to know that other people don't understand what we're saying. Even within Scotland, if I go to Glasgow, people have to speak slowly because sometimes I have no idea what they're saying. And it's the same all over Scotland. We are a diverse country with many dialects and many different accents and different colloquialisms. So it's not at all surprising that people in other parts of the world don't understand what we're saying, even though we are speaking English. So before I waffle about it too much, I'm gonna watch the trailer. Okay, go.
Now, a special look at Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Hey, kid! Wake up!
Ralph, what is wrong with you?
We're going to the internet.
What?
Going inside! Oh, holy cow!
Congratulations,
I love
you're a
Zootopia.
winner!
Really?
Want to get rich playing video games?
A racing game?
Slaughter race. It is wicked dangerous.
Well.
I love her. I don't know who she is, but she looks awesome.
This car is not designed for a big boy, I tell you that.
Embarrassing.
This girl can drive. I gave my mommy a cake, she turned into a big bear. My Algin tried to dare in. If that's not a pure mess, I don't know what is. We can't understand her. She's from the other studio.
Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Okay, so I love Merida's bit in that. I think it's hilarious because I think that Scottish is hilarious and Scottish people are hilarious. Have you ever read Scottish tweets? They absolutely kill me. For anybody who can't figure out what Merida's saying there, okay, so break it down. She says, I gave my mommy a cake and she turned into a big bear. I gave my mum a cake and she turned into a big bear. And then my old Jin tried to dare in. If that's not pure mess, I don't know what is. Old Jin, I actually thought she was talking about the witch the first time. Old Jin is just old one. Anyone that's older than you. So I thought it was the witch, but it's not, it's her dad. I tried to dare in, he tried to kill her mum. So that's not pure mess, I don't know what is. If that's not, you know, all over the place. A pure mess. It's a mess. It's all over the place. I don't know what is. I agree. So what she's saying is totally understandable to anyone from Scotland, I think. I totally get why people across the borders or over the sea don't understand what she's saying because she's got quite a thick accent. The woman who does Merida's voice is from Glasgow. She's a Glaswegian woman. In the movie Brave, her voice is Peggy Baker, who is Scottish, and then in Wreck-It Ralph she's Kelly MacDonald, who's from Glasgow. So they've actually picked like proper Scottish people to play her voice, which is amazing, and it's more than can be said for like a whole bunch of the other princesses. Like Snow White is German, and she's not voiced by a German girl, and you know, Aurora is French, etc, etc, etc. So as a Scottish person, I'm quite happy with the representation of Scottish person in something as big as Disney. You know, they could have picked anybody from anywhere else in the world, but they made a Scottish princess with Scottish lore and Celtic like imagery, and they picked Scottish voice actors to play her. So I'm quite happy. I feel that Scotland is quite well represented, and I've heard people complain that because the way that Merida speaks, it's like demeaning to Scots somehow because it's working class Scots. In the movie Brave, her mum is a Scottish woman who speaks proper because she's a queen and she's a proper lady, and she's always mad at Merida for not being a proper lady. That's part of Merida's charm, is she's kind of tomboyish and boisterous. So the fact that she speaks like working class Scots makes absolute sense for her character. I've also heard people say that they're annoyed because they feminized her for Wreck-It Ralph. They made her more feminine and more, you know, sexualized. But I have two problems with that. A, it's a different studio. Brave is a Pixar movie and they did her in their style. Even though Disney owns Pixar, Disney has the right to do their own kind of art style, and their own art style has a very specific look. So they made Merida look a bit cuter. But the way that she sits with her legs apart and the way that she flails her arms, even the kind of pajamas that she wears, are typically more masculine, especially like when compared with the other princesses there who are all typically very feminine. So I don't think that she is sexualized or made more feminine at all. The way that she slouches and folds her arms and everything is totally befitting of her character. I'd say personally, for me, as a Scottish person, not only am I not at all offended by Merida's portrayal in the trailer, but I'm actually quite chuffed for the Scottish representation that we've been given. She's a great character, and yes, they have that bit where all the princesses are saying that we don't understand her and she's from a different studio, but Scotland is a tiny country and a lot of people don't understand us. It's part of Scottish culture. It's funny that people don't understand us. It's a well-made in Scotland joke that people can't understand what we're saying. So I'm surprised at any Scottish people that are offended by the way that she talks in this. I actually read a tweet from someone who said that she doesn't know anyone in Scotland that speaks like that, and I'm kind of like, well, do you live in Scotland? Like, who do you know? I love Scottish Twitter. I think Scottish Twitter is hilarious. I find that I am only ever accidentally funny, but there are so many people that are deliberately funny and they're so good at it, and I find Scottish Twitter is a great place to find that. So I shared this on my Facebook like last week, and it's a whole bunch of Scottish tweets about like using Merida to write about them, and they use her expressions and stuff, and they're so funny. So I'm going to read off some of these tweets and I'll explain what they're saying after it. I love this one. Just got 4 drinks at the drive-thru and the guy asked, "Do you want a cup holder?" "Obviously I do, you f***ing reprobate. I'm not a f***ing octopus." A reprobate is an unprincipled person. So like, you know, a villain or a rogue, you know, something like that. It's kind of, it's undesirable anyway to be a reprobate. Mastermind at KFC drive-thru just asked if I was sitting in or taken away. "I hold the door open to a reverse inside, you stupid dick." When you push a pool door and the person behind it says, "You need to pull." "Aye, cheers lad, sure, next plan was to start lifting from the bottom." I hate when people do that. You're like already embarrassed sitting there trying desperately to open a door and they're like, "It's a push door." "Yeah, I know. I just tried pulling and that didn't work. What did you think I was going to do?" Another thing I love about Scottish insults is the fact that you can pick otherwise totally mundane words to be an insult, and with the accent and the gusto, it somehow comes out as an insult. So this one says, canny stick who always go on saying, I don't need alcohol to have a good time. Aye, that's good for you. Enjoy your fruit shoot, you cabbage. You cabbage. Canny stick, I can't take. I just like scrolling through Scottish tweets. I love this one, I've seen this before. Mate, the amount of lettuce Tesco's puts on their sandwiches, I asked for a BLT, not the botanical gardens. So, a lot of Scots is about tone and like expression, so that's how you can make completely mundane average words sound like insults. But by the same token, it's excuse me. By the same token, you can call someone horrible names, and it's friendly, it's endearing. So, you know, in Scots, you could call your friends and in the tone you say, alright, come on, let's go, and that's friends, it's friendly, it's fine, and then change the tone and say, oh you, and suddenly it's an insult, you know, it's all about the tone and the intention. Anyway, to break this down, as a Scottish person, is Merida offensive? No. I think that if you are offended by that, then you probably just shouldn't be on the internet. I don't know how this became a thing, but insulting you or offending you is not illegal. It's not a crime for your feelings to be hurt. So if you are offended easily by lots of things, really you've got two options. You can either learn to be less offended, because your life will be so much easier if you're not upset by every tiny thing, or just don't be on the internet. Just don't look at it. If you don't like it, don't look at it. We don't have to arrest people and ban people from platforms just because you're offended. So no, as a Scottish person living in Scotland, have lived in Scotland almost my entire life, Merida is not offensive. The way she speaks is not offensive. It's not, I saw somebody write it as appropriation as well. She's voiced by a Glasgow woman. It can't be appropriation if she's from Glasgow. She is Scottish. It's her actual voice. And yes, some of it looks fairly stereotypy, but so do all of the princesses. They all have their stereotypes, so it's fine. It's no biggie. Oh, before I go, I was totally forgetting to say that my bunny, who I asked you guys to give me a name for, subscriber Yu-Yu-chan, said Princess Butterbean, and I love that, so her name is Princess Butterbean. It makes all the sense. So guys, I might do a video reading Scottish tweets. Give me a comment if you think that's something that I could do, if you would like me to do something like that. Give me a like and a share and a thumbs up if you like this video. Shoot me comments, because I always read your comments. Hit the bell, because apparently you won't see that I've made new stuff unless you hit the bell, so do that. And check out my Patreon, which is in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Love!